Alright, so in the last video we created our About page and we added the page container, which is going to be the grid that we use for all inner pages. Now the article.html is going to be pretty similar. We're going to add like a couple extra things in the main article, but the layout will be the same basically. So I'm going to copy the about.html content and go to article.html and paste that in. Alright, and then we'll go up to the top here. Let's change the title. We'll just say, for the title, we'll just say latest news, I guess. It doesn't really matter. And then we want to remove the current from the about. So we're not going to have a class of current because the article page is not in the menu. And then for the section, let's give it an ID of article like that. And we're going to keep the page container. We're going to keep the article tag here, and let's see for the H1. Oh, one thing we didn't do is add the L heading, so let's do that real quick. So that's obviously a utility class, so let's put it we'll put it right under the padding here. So let's say class L heading, and I believe I did font size 3 rem. Let's see what that looks like. All right, yeah, good. So for the article, we have our heading, which I'm going to change. I'm just going to do lorem 5 for the title. And underneath the H1, we're going to have some metadata. Okay, so an article or a blog post usually will have things like the author, the date, stuff like that. So we're going to create a class, a div with the class of meta, and inside meta I'm going to put a small tag. Okay, I don't know if we went over small tags. Basically it's an inline element that will make the text smaller by default. Okay, I forget what the percentage is, but it makes it a little smaller. And then in here, I'm gonna put an icon of a user. Let me just make sure we used font awesome up here. Yes, we did. So let's say I with the class of fas dot fa-user. And the reason I want this icon is because I'm putting the author's name. So it's just a little icon next to the author name. We're gonna say written. Let's say written by John Doe. And then we'll just put the date, and we'll just say like January 12th, 2019. Okay, so that's in the small tag, and then we want to have a div with the class of category because we want to put the category here as well. And this is, we're going to say an entertainment article, so we have a class of category-ent. And let's say entertainment. And then let's see, under that, we can just keep the same text, but one thing that we do need is an image. So I'm going to put the image above the H1 actually. So we'll do image. Let's point to image / articles, and we'll use ent1 since this is an entertainment article, and that should be good. Let's see, let's save it and let's see what it looks like. So if I go to the home page, I have all of these pointing to article.html, and that's what it's going to look like. And we're going to style this meta a little bit. But I also want to add an extra box on the side here, or right here up above, which will be a list of categories. So let's scroll down here to where we have our aside, which is the join our club. And I'm going to change the color for this page. We'll say secondary. That's what's good about having these utility classes, is you can easily change things around the site. And then you have variables in the CSS file, which makes it easy to change the values. Now I'm going to go right above this, and let's create another aside. And this aside is also going to have an ID of categories, but let's give it a class of card. And we'll put an H2 in here, and we'll say categories. And under the H2, we'll have a UL, and we're going to use our list class. Okay, and we'll do an LI, and let's just put a link that goes nowhere. And we're going to have this we're going to put little chevron icons next to each one. So let's use Font Awesome here. We'll do i.fas, and the icon is fa-chevron-right. Like that, and then let's put a space after it, and then we'll put sports. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this and just copy it down. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 more. And we'll change this one. Let's see, we have sports, entertainment. Let's do technology, fashion, and I don't know, shopping. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll save that, and there we go. It automatically gets put in the sidebar. So the grid is pretty powerful. We just add display grid, add a couple grid template columns, maybe some spans, and we have our layout for all of our inner pages without having to do floats or anything like that. Now I just want to style this meta area because it doesn't look very good. It's very squished together. And I also want to give it like a look of texture, so we'll add a background color to it as well. So let's go into our style sheet here, and let's go down. We're targeting something that's on a specific page now. So I'm going to go under Home Articles, right above the footer. And let's say the ID of article. And then we want the class of meta. So I'm actually going to use Flex for this. This is definitely something that you would use Flex for, and you can see the difference between using grid and Flex. Like the grid is good for this type of thing, the layout of all the boxes and stuff, and then Flex is good for inner elements, aligning stuff like this or menus, and just more simple stuff that's one-dimensional. So let's say display Flex, and you could use the grid for this, but I think it's stupid to use the grid for this. And then we're gonna let's justify our content, and we want to do space between. Okay, I want the category to be over to the right, because if we look at the markup in the meta, we have this is now a flex box, right? And then the small tag is going to be one flex item, this is another, and we want space in between the two, so it pushes the category over. And then let's do a line items center as well, and then we'll do a background. I'm going to do a background of EEE and just add some padding, so 0.5 rem. And let's save that, take a look. Good. Now this, even though we align center, this category, I want to push it down just a little bit. So let's do article dot meta category, and say margin top, let's do 0.4 rem. And that just pushes it down a little bit into the middle. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. Our site is complete except for the responsiveness of it. If we bring this down to mobile size, you'll see that things don't look very well. So we're going to have to just add some media queries and make this look good. All right, so we'll start doing that in the next video.